So recently we saw top 5 Drake's #1 OVO T. Goon, right? Goofball that guy is. Apparently he caught a new case. He's back in jail. There was this whole narrative trying to be spun that. And listen, Wack 100 is on some bullish all the time, but there was this post going around where they were trying to make it out like Wack 100 and Hittaj3, who is a Kendrick affiliate, some say family member, whatever the case may be, they're close affiliates. He rocks with them. That Hittaj3 and Wack got top 5 locked back up, like they were working with the police or something like that. And it was a ludicrous post, man. They referenced to Hitta as Twitterj3. It was some straight clownery. And what Wack was saying in the soundbite that they were using from No Jumper, he was telling Drake to get this guy to fluck up away from him. That he's a goofy, reckless, wannabe goon clown.
Me and Drake are gonna link up in a couple days, and we're gonna do this podcast.
Oh shit.
And we're gonna play a Not Like Us video, and we're gonna look at every nigga in the video, and we're gonna do homework. We're gonna look for the niggas. I don't fuck around, play around, but Aubrey, that's my bro.
Hey, hold on, J3 and Wack. I got top 5 on. I think we could come to a peaceful resolution.
You know, Wack 100, you doing what? If they can stand on their word that they gonna keep Kendrick name out their mouth, because look, it's like this. Well, you never doing that, bro. Shut up, bro. You fucking shut up. You fucking you're not a killer. You're a civilian. Stop it. I am a civilian. I'm a good guy. Oh yeah. I'm a good guy. You see me in the streets, you better not run, though. They want to run, though. I just see the bodies. So please don't say bodies. Brags about beating their body. Who brags? I got failed for 3 years, bro. Steve Rash, look at your OG Wack 100. Look at the donor. Please donor. Hey, be rational, gang. You trying to shut up. You said the guy heard I went to Diddy's party. Shut up, you're in Diddy's party, my nigga. I ain't never been to a Diddy's party. You and Wack 100 in Diddy's party, bro.
Wait, hold on.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. You at Diddy's party. I'm party.
You hear that? This dude was bragging about beating a body, which turned out it's a whole nother situation, man. He killed some young teenager. Allegedly, he beat it in court or whatever. And, this dude's been exposed on camera getting punked in his own city. He's just a goofy, man. And Wack, who was on some bullish a lot, was totally right in this instance. Like, yo, Drake, you better cut ties with this guy. He's going to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know the OVO artists like that, and no disrespect to Canada, because that's another wild, crazy, ludicrous narrative that's been going on. Is the Kendrick Drake beef has been been spun into a USA versus Canada or Compton versus Toronto or something like that thing. And it's just reminiscent of the East Coast, West Coast ish that the magazines and media were running with back during Tupac and Biggie, RIP to both of those goats, But I got love for Canada, but I don't know the OVO artists like that. And I feel like on this side of the border, not a lot of music fans or hip hop fans really know of Drake's artists like that. Maybe I'm tripping. If you think so, comment below. But in the Not Like Us, where Drake took a major L that he still can't recover from and is trying to convince everyone that it's not bothering him, even though he been acting wild, goofy, trying so hard to seem not bothered when clearly you could tell he is bothered, and he's engaged in this lawsuit with UMG, like they cooked up this whole thing against him or whatever, that it was some bots doing it and all this, that in amplified fake numbers, all this ish, which like that fake post that I was talking about going around with Wack 100 and Hitta when they called him Twitterj3, that seemed like some bot type ish, you know what I'm saying? Like someone was trying to put this fake, I don't know, it was just a goofy move, you know what I mean? Because Top 5's got no one to blame but Top 5 going on there and acting like a reckless clown. But I'm not like us. You know, Kendrick referenced Baka Not Nice, right? When he said Baka has a weird case, why is he around? Well, he recently responded to that.
At first, my first initial thing was to respond and respond quickly, very efficiently, and very to the point, very directly. Yeah, and you know, but like it was like it started brewing in me because where I come from, like that shit doesn't happen. Like you can't just call out a man and not have paperwork to back up your talks. Like that is ludicrous. And then like to see like a whole nation behind it and celebrating it like it's a true story is unbelievable. Because you know everybody has to understand. Like I have a kid. Drake has a kid. You know what I mean? So like making accusations like that are like ridiculous and out of this world. You know what I'm saying? So, but like what I was gonna tell you is this, like. I was building up a lot of anger and stuff like that, but then I got a call, and I don't know why I got it. It's like God said something to him or something, but the boy, sorry, it might not have been a call, it might have been a text message, but he messaged me, and he's like, yo, I know what you're feeling, I know you as an individual, and I know how you get down, but I'm just letting you know, like, don't listen to the noise, because it's noise. And if you go back and look at all these people that are saying things or having anything to say, they're not even actual real people. They're like bots. Exactly. So, like, don't let that shit bother you, bro. Exactly. Like, and you know what? Like, I mean, it's not a good thing, but they're calling your name. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you know, like, they're going to get over this crap because they're going to realize that it's crap, and then they're going to go do their own research. And when you do your own research, you're going to be like, wow, this guy made up a whole story about something that isn't even true, and it makes you look weird to me. I don't know. It does. But I want to say one thing to America, and y'all need to, like, get yourself together. Yo, making accusations on people, serious accusations like that, you need to have paperwork. That is the rule, like, number one rule that everybody goes by. So don't switch up.
All right, man. So Baka clapping back in this interview. And how do you not remember if it was a call or a text? Something that is such a big thing, apparently, you know, like, was it a call or a text? I don't know. And I didn't know if he was trying to imply that it was Kendrick, but the media and others are saying, no, he was referencing Drake, calling him, telling him to just chill, you know, like it's all gravy. And he tried to, you know, make Kendrick look like a weirdo for spreading a fake lie, a story, and that he don't have the paperwork. And you know, that's the way it's supposed to be. You definitely got to have paperwork. And you heard him here telling USA, get y'all self together. You know what I mean? Which to me clearly seems like I was saying, where this whole USA versus Canada, Compton versus Toronto thing that I think is corny, that it's trying to be made into that. Like, man, you guys remember how Rose got did in Canada? Canada, though, that was crazy. I hope he fired all them security, because he looked soft as fuck in that whole footage, man. Drake's security getting done filthy in Canada. Not Drake's, my bad. Rose's security getting done filthy in Canada. Like, that was crazy in the midst of all this ish. But it's clear when Baka's saying that, like, USA, get y'all self together, like, that he feels it's a USA versus Canada thing. But I want to know what everyone thinks about this, because as far as paperwork or what he was actually charged with, right, he had a case that involves human trafficking, and it was more or less a domestic incident. And basically he was accused of forcing his on-again, off-again girlfriend into prostitution, throwing her on the floor, that she was tripping on him for being drunk with food in the oven. Like, you talk about weird. Like, that's crazy, man. You went away and did time behind throwing your girl on the ground when you had food in the oven, drunk, allegedly. You know what I mean? And apparently in the accusations, she claimed that he was like forcing her to sell the box, right? And more or less, he sat for a while. He ended up pleading out to an assault case and came home. And the Crown, their court or whatever, said, you know, that the woman was not forced or pressured into not testifying, that more or less she was just leaving the incident behind her and moved and broke up with the Baka Not Nice dude. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to like leave the situation behind him. And domestic-ish can be wild. Like, comment anyone if you known anyone that was in a situation like that. Like, believe me, I know when it comes to domestic-ish, women can lie, like, right? Like, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And let's keep it real, dudes can lie too. I've known dudes that lied and put their girlfriends in jail on some other ish. Like, relationships can just get crazy and messy, and I don't, doubt that for a second. But he had some serious allegations, basically, that he was forcing his girlfriend with violence into selling the box. She decided not to testify. He pleads it down to simple assault, or whatever the case may be. Legal terms differ from state to state, country to country, and all that. But then he comes home, and Kendrick's reaction to all that, breaking down the case, he said, man, to him, he thinks that case is weird. I want to know what you think, if you think it's weird or not. You know what I mean? But for Baka to be coming on here, like, just acting like everything was totally made up, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Because it's not totally made up. You had the case, you had human trafficking on there, it got beat, you pled to something lesser. But that's Kendrick's reaction. That's how he flipped it into a diss. You know what I mean? And with the other things that he was saying about Drake, he was kind of like saying, man, birds of a feather flock together. And, things get tricky when it comes to the rap beef and all that. But I don't know. I just wanted to know what everyone thought about this, because I've been seeing, like I said, with the Wack and the Hittaj3, Kendrick's homie, they were trying to throw it out there like they were rocking with the police and got Top 5, who, again, Top 5, you did that to yourself by being a fool if he's back locked up. Like, this dude is a clown. The fact, and I can't believe Drake allows him to represent OVO acting like that. But I don't know. It's clear that all this stuff, the aftermath of the beef and everything, is still going on. Like, it's pretty nuts. So there you have it. Baka Not Nice responds to Kendrick, the diss, calls out the US of A. Let's discuss it all in the comments below. This beef is far from over in a sense. There's still the UMG lawsuit. Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? This diss track really has a life of its own in the news cycle. There's so many things going on connected to this situation that are still playing out and probably won't be done for quite some time, not to mention all the back and forth online. And these OVO artists that, like I said, I don't think in the US of A people know them like that. In Canada, their celebrity is turned up probably to the maximum, but I don't know. It's pretty crazy. So tap in, let's discuss it all. Thank you for tuning in. As always, this coffee, subscribe. It's all about hearing from the people over here. And I'll catch you on the next one. I'm gone.